put it in, they lamb after 5 months in the doorpost, normally all the small stock. So you can choose which breeding management you want. For me it's easy to AI, I'm used to it, and it's easy management to do it because all the ewes normally lamb in 14 days, and you have to tag them, cut the tails and everything. So if you choose your breeding management program, choose it well so that it adapts to your circumstances and your management. Because sometimes if you don't plan that well, you're probably going to end up not being on the farm and left all the animals in your people's hands and you're not there. So plan it well so that you're at home, the circumstances is right, the climate is right, they have enough food, and they dewormed and everything. Stockmanship, that's just a photo of a guy there in Oklahoma. You can see he's actually a Dorper breeder and a Border Collie breeder. Actually one of the best guys in the United States, Roy Cox. He's really good. And like I said, if you're a good stockman, you always learn. I went over there to learn Roy about Dorpers, and I came back with more knowledge about breeding my Dorpers from listening from him by breeding Border Collies. And he's like, the one thing I learned from Roy to improve my stockmanship was, if it's not good, you're wasting time. So choose the right animals and start and choose the best. Don't be easy on them. Like Roy said, don't be easy on them. If it's not right, get rid of the animal and get the right ones. Because we're all human. We normally focus on the negative. I don't know why, but that's human. If you don't focus on, sometimes when you see a negative thing, you miss the positive. If you don't do that, you probably AI. So that's the thing. You have to learn from other people, and that's what I learned from Roy. Is if it's not good, move on. Get a better animal. Improve your genetics. That's just infrastructure. Also a photo from America, Utah. When I first came there, they have taps. It's on top, but it opens like funny. And I thought, yeah, what? And then every morning and afternoon they have to give water to the animals. I said, yeah, in Namibia we have water troughs. They give water to the animal anytime. When they drink the ball valve just open, fills it up, and that's it. So why don't you put yourself water troughs in here? You make it tough on yourself. So now we're normally 3 months in the minus degrees, so it freezes. So their taps opens a meter underneath the ground. Otherwise they get frozen every morning. The same with this water trough. The ball valve is actually 1 meter underneath that. So for me it was really interesting to see you adapt to your circumstances, and that's why you have to have good infrastructure. Because this guy, Travis Blackburn, he got a big farming business, so he doesn't have time to manage all that water troughs filled up so that the animals have always water to drink. So he had this water troughs in his infrastructure, which help him to manage other businesses better. So he can spend on his effective management practice, record keeping. Most of the people, first going to explain a little bit about record keeping. What I do every time a ewe lamb, I put a tag in the lamb's ear that I have a number on. For this year, it's 2025, so I use normally 25001, and I'll move on second level 25002. Some people, they put a number on 25 and then they put the month. So for instance, this month is June, so they put in 25601, and then the second lamb in June, they'll put 25602. So when they catch
my animal, and if they see LV5, they can go in a system, even they go online to see it comes from my farm, which loves really love. And then we put in the left ear that number, and on the other side of the tag, I put the tag number of the animal 25001. On the right hand side, I probably put 25001 again, because if you lose one tag, you still have the other tag. And on the bottom, I give all the males a code. So, for instance, if I use Red Bull, and I give him his tag number, his number was 13, so I put number 13 there. So they catch the animal, I can see this is a daughter or son of Red Bull. So it really helps. Record keeping, it helps to improve your flock. So if you don't have a record system, you're moving really slowly forward. Because, like I said, a normal farmer with a 10-month interval running only going to have 40 to 50 learning seasons. So if you messed up one, you're not going to have enough to improve your animals. So that's why record keeping is really important. The other important thing about record keeping, it's not a marketing thing. It's a thing to improve.
Not only on the animals, it's on yourself. And you have to have an animal that can adapt to any circumstances. And once again, if you love the animal, you and the animal will adapt to that circumstances. Record keeping, there's just a little simple photo about my record keeping. I've got a program from mobile farming. And then I moved to another program that can tell me about inbreeding and all that. Inbreeding, it's about when you are too close to inbreeding in a dorpers, you're probably going to get animals with smaller testicles, with a lot of pigment, the animals getting smaller. So we don't want to have too much inbreeding. Because if you have too much inbreeding, your adaptability of the animal is not that good. The animal also get easy worms and everything. So I'm really concentrating on that. Inbreeding is if you put like the father back on his daughters or brother back on half sisters. Be careful. If you move on inbreeding, you're probably going to get a problem. I use Brazil. I think that some of the people that they're really fantastic on marketing. If you come there as a judge, they put the judge separate. He's on his own in a little box with air conditioning. You can't talk to anybody because they're so passionate about their sheep and everything. So when you leave that show, you take an extra bag with caps and shirts and everything. So they're marketing the hell out of that sheep, and they really believe in their product. So it's good. If you believe in your product, you will market your animals. I've met a lot of these breeders that have animals today on the sale. I must say they're passionate about everything. Adaptability. There's a photo of how it looked on my farm for 24 months. It was really, really dry, and it's really only God that saved us this year, gave us rain, because I was on my way leaving Namibia for a while, working on some other place because it was too dry. I had to adapt, but my animals also showed me they can adapt. I couldn't believe that my sheep survived on 500 grams of alfalfa a day. They survived. So that's why you really have to have animals that can adapt to any circumstances. Unfortunately, I didn't want to put up too much photos. A guy from Kansas, Freddie Rousseau, he sent me in December photos of sheep grazing underneath snow. Have you seen that? They adapt to that. It's so cold and everything, and they still graze underneath the snow. So once you can get animals that's really easy adapted. Sorry, this thing. So yeah, that photo is just normal meat there in Namibia. That's normally a Friday or Saturday picture. I just put a, like I said, in Afrikaans we call kos, it's food in English. So I put a little nice photo of food there by explaining dorper farming with the kos concept. You must have a plan. So plan your thing well. I'll talk about that now. You're a manager of a factory. Start breeding or commercial breeding or anything. It's like a factory. So like I said, don't be easy on them. If you don't like the animal, move on. Slaughter it. And so you're part of a factory and believe in your product to market your product. Love for your breed. That's why I put the dorper in here. I love the dorper. The dorper sheep is really close to my heart. I love the dorper, but I can't tell if any of you farm with goats, Van Rooijs or Meatmaster, it's a bad product. But you can't tell a guy, if you don't love your sheep, you have bad sheep. But if you love your sheep, don't tell a guy you got bad sheep. If you like the goats and he loves his goats, he has good goats. He only can improve it. KOS, the K stands for knowledge. You have to get your knowledge. Knowledge means that you know the breeding standards. The dorpers have a really good breeding standards. The breeding standards was developed in the 1950s. We still use it. And it's unbelievable that it's still relevant in today's farming. So we as dorpers, we normally do a junior course, a senior course, and then you do a judging course, and you go to days like this. All of you are already on the right track. You got informed, you improved your knowledge, you improved your own stats. So build up enough knowledge. You learn every day. Every day, it doesn't matter how old you are. Organization, you have to organize everything well. You have to know where you're going, how your farm must look, how many camps, how your water trials must be, what your deworming program, everything. To get yourself well organized to get on the right track for the 40 to 50 lambing seasons you're going to have in your lifetime. So once again, if you plan that wrong, you're 10 years backwards. If you plan it right, you're moving forward. Then selection. If you have started your knowledge about your breed and you organize everything, then you start selecting your animals. You can't have animals that's not fitting into your program. Please select the right animals so that you can improve on your stuff. So knowledge, collect information on the history of the breed. Like I said, the Dorpers, we have a book about the Dorpers. You can go online, on Facebook, everywhere, you read about the Dorpers. Then participate is like today. Participate don't mean you have to go to the sale with the Dorpers. Just be part of every situation that you can build up your knowledge on anything. Even if it is how not to do it, it's also good to know. Needs of the breed, like I said, the Dorper, they're really easy adaptable. To know your needs of the breed, you can't have cattle in a small stock panels. So know what your breed need. Breeding standards, benchmarking, inspectors, insulation and dosing, diseases, symptoms, environmental factors, all that things. Get enough knowledge on it to improve yourself. I can't come here and tell you what to use to deworm. I can only tell you you must deworm and the symptoms and everything you have to look at. But that's all things you have to decide when you have enough knowledge on it. Organization, like I said, plan your farming, camp size, water, mating and marketing. You must have everything in place. For example, if you don't have the right, if your mating or planning is not right, then, and if you use lamb in April, you can't have a sale in June. They're going to be too small. So all these things go together. First you have to plan your farm and everything, then you started doing your camps and graze sizes and everything. And then the waters. If you don't have the camps, you can't start with the waters. So everything is in sequence. Selection, that's a picture of last Wednesday. I'm part of the South African inspectors. So last Wednesday we were about 50 people. The guy there in the panels is Rikus van der Merwe. He's at the States the president of the South African Association. So I'm an inspector. We always go to that day once a year. We all discuss about the animals, what we can improve and everything. And that's why I said you have to have your perfect picture of what your animal must look like, but still it must be in the breeding standards. If it's in the goats, you have to be according to breeding standards, because if the inspector comes to your place or someone that wants to tell you about the animals, then it's good music. And then you breed according to that animals. Because if your animals is not according to the breeding plan, you're not going to do well on any sale or any show. We're all competitive. So if you choose a breed, be in the breeding standards to be competitive. And if you're competitive, you will do well. And if you do well, your animals will sell well. Rams. Just want to quickly say about the Dorpers. I can't tell you anything about the other small stock breeds, but the basic thing on every animal is, depending on your breeding standards, but is a ram or a bull must be muscular. We don't want a phenomenon bull, we don't want a phenomenon ram. We want a ram that's muscular. In the Dorpers we normally say, if you put him on a scale, he must flip forward, heavy in the chest, lighter at the back. So we want them muscular. In the Dorpers we realize the more muscular the ram is, the more venom is the ewe, and that helps really well with the breed, because the Dorpers was on the States. In Namibia we had a problem with the Dorpers that was not venom enough. So we wanted to improve that, and we did the last 5-6 years. And by doing that, we improved the prices on our sheep. And if you improve the prices, what happens? It's easy, your profit moves up. The profit moves up, you can improve your farm. So the ewes, on the other side, we don't want a muscular ewe with too much muscle. In the Dorpers we had ewes that had double muscling in the back. It gave lambing problems and everything. So we don't want that. We want them really well, not that double muscle, good muscling, not too little meat, but we want them venomous. So the ewes we want wider at the back, deeper at the back, and the front a little bit narrow. So if you put them on, they must flip backwards again. So, and the more venom you use is, the more muscular they breed the rams. And we also, milk production and all that things will improve the venom the ewes get. I think this battery's oh, the Dorper, I'm just going to give you a little bit of backgrounding on the Dorper. It's really a true South African success story. Actually the whole Africa, but South Africa was on the States, there wasn't good slaughter lambs. So nobody wants the meat. So we really had to breed with good carcass quality and everything. So they were in search for a new breed, and that is where the Dorper was developed. I don't want to talk too much about everything, but the Dorper was the Dorset horn ram on the Persian ewe. The Dorset horn is a sheep that has a lot of capacity, good carcass quality, but they cross it with the Persian ewe. The Persian ewe was a good mother with good body fat. So that's what I said. We don't want muscling, then we go more to the Dorset horn. We don't want them to be fat, then they go to the Persian. So we want to be there in the middle with a good carcass quality that you can sell easily on the market. We normally, like this year, we slaughter Dorper lambs. They average about 20 to 21 kilograms. It's easy calculations. For every kilogram you put on a carcass, the better profit you're going to have. So that's how they get the name. It's the Dor of the Dorset horn ram and the PR from the person. So they got the Dorper. So just the progress about the Dorper today. It's funny, we had a talk last night about what will happen if we cross the Persian ewe at the Dorset horn again with the Persian ewe to see. And I went back this morning and see a lot of photos about the Dorper. If you see 2000, the highest selling ram on the national sale of South Africa was, I think that year was 500,000 rand. And if that ram today comes into a judging ring, he'll probably be out of the ring as a second selection or as a commercial. He won't start at type 5. And that's how the Dorper progressed over the years. And once again, when you're here today, you're not going to be here. You're going to move forward in the next 5 or 6 years. So get the right picture and moving forward. The Dorper is also expanding in the whole world. In America, they got more than 800 members at this stage. It's one of the fastest growing sheep or small stock in America. Really growing fast. Even in Namibia it's starting to grow. And it's probably going to start growing here in Tanzania also. So yeah, that's the end of the seminar. Thanks for everybody and thanks for listening. And I hope you learned a lot. There's going to be more seminars now. And I'm always available later today when every seminar is finished if you want to talk to me. So yeah, thank you everybody. I just want to know if there is any questions. Yes.
Just a quick one. You mentioned a couple of times that Lucerne is a very good feed. Sorry.
You mentioned a couple of times that Lucerne is a very good feed, but are Dorpers susceptible to bloat if they eat it fresh? Does it have to be baled?
Yes, where we live, you can't give them fresh, so you have to let them bail first. What I mean about the Lucerne is really good because we don't want too high energy feeds for the rams and for the ewes, because the Dorper is known to grow really fast. So if you give them too much high protein or energy feeds, you're probably going to have problems with animals getting too fat, not getting pregnant, or if they're pregnant, that lamb inside is definitely going to grow too fast. So that's why I like the Lucerne. When it's baled, the protein is not that high. But I know in America, the last cutting, they don't cut and bale it. They let it frost, and when it's frost, it goes down in the protein, they can graze it.
We'll take 2 more questions, then we'll have to go on to the next speaker. Is there anyone else?
Thank you, sir. Here in Tanzania, we have many number of black Persian, and we want to cross it with Dorpers. For how long would you leave it to take to cross until you can achieve our goal? Because we cannot afford to have pure Dorpers. So with this many number of animals that we have, like those Persian, how can you estimate maybe for how long this breeding will it take to get this pure Dorpers?
Thank you for the question. It depends. The Dorper is definitely a very good breed to cross, and because it comes off the Persian ewe, you can do that, but you have to be careful. You have to switch the rams then, because you can't use that ram over and over. And that's a other thing. What is a really good question is selection. The power of selection is very very high. So if you select that animal the whole time that's going towards the Dorpers, you will get at a stage, but I can't give you in years. It will depend on your selection, how strict you on the selection. Like I said, don't be easy on that. So the more they use ewe lambs that go more to the Dorper, you select them. But you can't use that ram lamb out of that cross to try and move forward. You have to use a purebred Dorper or a full blood, like you could say, on that ewe lambs again. But selection, just that my dad one day asked me, which is the best ram you ever used on your stud? And I named, no, Red Bull was my best, because that was the best ram that I ever used that improved my. He said, no, you're wrong. I said, Dad, why am I wrong? He said, no, the best ram you ever can use on any stud is the name selection. The more strict you're on selection, the faster you move forward. So it depends on selection. So you can take 20 years or you can take 5 years. It depends on your selection. Thank you.
Anyone else? This will be the last question for this session.
Thank you. Have you ever considered to have a center in Tanzania where we can access the breed? Thank you.
The question was if we would have a sale where they can access the breed.
Yes, you're on the right place today, my friend. Today there is Dorpers on the sale. So, welcome. Thank you.
Leroux, thank you very, very much. It was very informative. We appreciate your effort and your time with this. I'm going to introduce myself next. I'm the next speaker. So we're just going to move the podium a little and then I'll start my presentation. For the guys at the back, would you just mind putting the blue presentation on for me, please? For the sale this afternoon, you need to register as a buyer. Okay, so once we're done with all the talks, you can come to my team over here, Lara and Shonay, and they will give you must register on this card if you want to buy. If you don't have a bidder number, you cannot buy on the sale this afternoon. So please come forward when we're done. The sale starts at exactly 2 o'clock. Just before the sale at 12:30, PJ Butler will be speaking about global livestock challenges, and after me is Mark Meyer-Taylor on the Baron breed. But for that, we will move down to the auction ring where he'll do a discussion about an animal. So for now, quickly get up for a second, and then just 1 minute, just shake your legs, wiggle your body, and get your juices flowing again, and then I'll start my presentation. Okay, if everyone is ready, I would like to start. If you want to leave now, it's your only hope of surviving this. Okay, everyone happy? Okay, good day everyone. It is truly an honor and a privilege to stand on this stage today, next to it. I tried to chicken out 100 times, but these farmers basically held me hostage, so I had no choice. So bear with me. I hope I can learn more from you today than you will from me. I would like to encourage you to write down a couple of questions while you're secretly checking your Instagram, so we can talk a little when I'm done. If I cannot answer them in my time slot, I would really love for you to come and talk to me or to my team after the sale, and ask away, or I'll provide you with my email address and I will answer your questions to the best of my ability. Okay, let's get the show on the road. My talk today is about the validity and visibility in livestock marketing. I don't think farmers realize every day how much marketing is an essential part of their farming enterprise. Many farmers think they can just farm on their farms and no one knows about the animals, no one knows about the fantastic breeds that they have, and they never tell their stories to the world. Before I jump to the first slide, I want you to think of one of the most visible brands in Tanzania. And I would like an answer from you guys. If you think about one brand in particular, just put up your hand and tell me the first brand that comes to your mind. Can't you think of a brand? Okay, tell me. Say? Azam. What do they do? I'm not familiar with the brand. Almost everything. Okay, they do everything. Give me one. Coca-Cola, there we go. All right. So the thing with the brand, I set that up on purpose. No? Okay. A brand, sorry for that, it's not supposed to look like that. A brand is not just a logo. It's the feeling that people get when they hear about you, your product, or your service. Your brand includes your name, your logo, your brand colors, your style and tone of voice, quality and consistency, and the reputation that you build over time. I really want to stress this. The reputation of your business is key to everything that you do. You can have the best logo, you can have the best name, you can have the beautiful branding that Coca-Cola has all over the world. If you don't have a reputation, you're out of the business. So for a name, when you think about a name for your business, you should ask yourself, is it memorable, easy to pronounce and understand, and valid to what you are trying to achieve? Azam, for instance, I don't know what the brand looks like, unfortunately. I'd love to see it, but I can imagine that it's blue. Am I right? Is Azam blue? Okay, you see, the moment you think about water, and in many cases logistics, the first color that comes to mind is blue, because it's a very popular color, especially in the beverage industry. Your logo is the best logos are simple and recognizable. For instance, if you look at the Coca-Cola ribbon logo, Nike shoes, and in agriculture we have the first brand that I always think about in agriculture is the John Deere brand. Your brand color and style. Color is extremely important when you choose your logo and your overall look of your product. Studies suggest that more than 62% of snap judgments, skipped to the wrong one there. Studies suggest that more than 62% of snap judgment about products can be based on color alone. Snap judgments mean that the moment I think about a color, I think about a brand and I want to associate with that brand. I'm not talking too fast for the translators. Are you guys keeping up? Okay, right. Color can increase your brand recognition by 80%. If you think red again, you think Coca-Cola. And it's very interesting. Studies show that men often prefer blue, black, and green, where women gravitate toward purple and green, and kids respond to primary colors like red, green, yellow, and blue. My brand for my company, Real Time Agri, is orange. You see on my logos, everything we do is in orange. So what we are trying to convey is enthusiasm, excitement, and energy. Because when I do your marketing, I need to do so with excitement and energy. So orange is commonly used by tech startups and in the arts. We work in social media most of the time, so that's why orange is a very recognizable color in the social media space and in the tech space. It suggests affordability, it implies value and cost effectiveness. The color orange stimulates action and urgency, which might lead a farmer to impulsively buy a new bull from me. But impulsivity usually isn't cost effective, so please just remember that. Lastly, a brand is supported by quality and consistency that builds reputation over time. Okay. Then, what makes your brand matter? Your brand helps people trust you. It simplifies decision making for your client. It gives you visibility in the market. It differentiates your products from others, and it supports your long-term success. In Vodacom Tanzania is a brand with a very, very strong visual identity, again in red, and the simple logo makes them instantly recognizable. This is actually a sign that's in Dar es Salaam. They localize marketing to local cultures, so they adapt to what will work with the Tanzanian market. That is very important. You must, if you do your marketing in different countries or in different areas of your country, and for instance in Namibia where we come from, we have the Herero tribe, and then we have the Damara and the Nama and the Afrikaners and the Germans. So we tailor our marketing towards those cultural groups, because branding speaks differently to different cultural groups. Vodacom also has consistent messaging around connectivity and empowerment and promotes the connection of people. And that is very important. We need people to connect. Even if we are on social media every day, we need them to connect with each other. They include their consumers digitally, and they empower communities. You guys will know better than I do how Vodacom has done community work in your country. Again, it gives them visibility in the market. It helps them differentiate. The interesting thing is, if you look at Vodacom and Coca-Cola, they're both red, okay? But when you think of Coca-Cola, you probably think of the ribbon, and when you think of Vodacom, you probably think of that little inverted comma at the top there. So that's how we associate brands, even if the same different brands have different colors. Cook, good. Types of brands. Oh, Canada. Okay, types of brands. You get personal brands, and I'll explain it to you now. Product brands, and then business or corporate brands. I've already touched on the corporate brands with Vodacom and Coca-Cola. So the most important part for me is to tell you about personal brands and products brands, because that is where you guys will work. So a personal brand is where the person is the brand. I, Martinique, I am the brand. So I sell myself as the brand. That is who I am. A product brand is where an item or an animal or a genetic line is the brand. I'm talking specifically agriculture, okay? So business brands or corporate brands like John Deere, Coca-Cola and Vodacom, which I will not be elaborating on today. A personal brand for me is someone that I admire very much. To engage people in interacting with our brands, we need to engage their senses. What do people see, hear, feel, and in the lady that I will be using as an example of a personal brand, taste. I love talking about women in agriculture, and I don't know if you know, but of 50% of the labor force in Africa in agriculture are women, but they are also the poorest section of that economy. It's actually heartbreaking. Jacqueline Bawe, you'll see her picture there at the top. She is lovingly referred to as the Queen Bee of Zimbabwe. Jacqueline is was a trained healthcare professional in the UK, and returned to the UK to Zimbabwe to care for her mother. And when she wasn't able to find employment in healthcare in Zimbabwe, she pivoted to beekeeping, or apiculture, as the fancy word suggests, on her late dad's farm. In 2012, she founded Sweet Maungwe, the name for, I hope I'm pronouncing it right, named for her Maungwe heritage and a tribute to her uncle and mentor. Her brand began with honey, but now offers mead, beeswax, candles, lip balms, and soaps. So she's incorporated all of that into her brand. Sweet Maungwe currently exports honey to the EU, the Middle East, China, and has also exported to Hong Kong. Why do I see her as a personal brand? And even if she's doing apiculture, she has a very strong presence in the livestock industry. Jacqueline has a very, very strong identity, and she's very vocal about what she stands for. She's the president of the Zimbabwe chapter of the African Women in Animal Resources Farming and the Agribusiness Network. In that role, she's championed land access, women's capacity building in livestock, value chains, and improved beef farming in the Zimbabwean environment. She's referred to as the Queen Bee. This reflects, it's nice that they connect that to her, because it gives her just that next level of validity. Land access, women's capacity building in livestock, and she's also involved in creating value chains for women in African livestock and African apiculture. She's a media celebrated entrepreneur with a strong social media presence, and her life philosophy and advice is that in agriculture, especially in agriculture, we must appreciate that Rome wasn't built in a day. So take time to perfect what you are doing. It's exactly what Leroux said just now. Farming takes time. Building good genetics lines takes time, but take the time to do it. It will be your best friend in the selection part that he was talking about. She stresses perseverance, a lot of research, a lot of networking like we are doing here, and continuous, do we have to do a dance to that? And continuous product improvement. Okay, sorry for that. I don't think my presentation is compatible with the computer in the back. Okay, so a product brand, this is an interesting one, I love this, is that bull over there in the corner. He's called Manso. So Manso is the product brand that we'll be talking. The brand as the product we'll be talking about. Manso is a Brahman bull, and he's a very powerful and symbolic product. He is not just livestock. Manso represents a legacy. He represents a status symbol, and for the right audience, a living embodiment of genetics, power, and prestige. 75% of all Brahman cattle that is registered with the American Brahman Breeders Association carry the Manso gene. So this guy is a true legend. He was by no means the best grade Brahman ever bred, but he was the first. He brought adaptability to the breed. He brought consistency to the breed. Manso bred cattle set the standard of quality that became the trademark of the brand. Walter Hutchins went to Franchitas, Texas. They actually still, the Hutchins family still have the head mounted in their office in America. And then in 1933, and he saw Manso there for the first time. He was very impressed with the bull's type, his conformation, his size, and his disposition. Disposition means his personality. Manso proved to be, Walter and Edgar and Carlton Hutchins went to pick up Manso in those days in a Model A4 truck equipped with a homemade cattle truck. I couldn't find a picture of that to show you. Manso proved in the end to be he doesn't look like the Brahman we have today. You'll see this afternoon in the sale, Brahman don't look like that anymore. But he was the start of the future of the grey Brahman in the world, actually. During this time, in 1933, it was during the Great Depression, 34, and many cattlemen saw Manso's first calves, and they bought them directly off of the mothers for $100 each, where in that time, a pair of Brahman-type cross cows would sell for $10 US. So since Manso was thick, heavy set, fleshy, large and docile, he made an immediate imprint on his offspring. As early Brahman cattle were very leggy, they were wild, they haven't been properly domesticated yet, and they were narrow-bodied and lacked fleshing ability. There's the fleshing ability again. What people see when they look at him is his physical presence, and that is what I'll explain that to you now, but he has a distinctive horn shape. They call it the banana horn shape. So he has a distinctive horn shape, so everything that you see, when you look at him, he has that thing that says, okay, this is Manso. He's the guy of the moment. What people hear is that he set a standard in an industry. He was successful as a sire, and that he established himself as a beacon in a very, very competitive industry. Grey Brahman across the whole world, or most Grey Brahman across the world, carry Manso genes. The feeling he creates with buyers interested in his offspring is prestige, outstanding performance, and legacy. Guys, people love being associated with status, longevity, and success. If you can associate your brand with status and longevity and success, I can promise you'll have a very, very successful brand. Try to harness these characteristics of distinction, I got that one, and stature in your breeding programs, and your product brand will influence your marketing positively. It's exactly again what Leroux said. Selection, 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 selection. Okay, market visibility and presence. I want you to look at that picture for a second. In today's world, marketing is cheap, it's easy, but it's also very, very difficult. To stand out today in an environment where digital overload is at the order of the day. I mean, most of you would check your phones 50, 80 to 100 times a day. And you'll scroll and scroll and scroll, and you consume enormous amounts of content. Users and brands constantly pour content onto Facebook and Instagram and Snapchat and TikTok and all these apps that we're on today. The content that we have has a very, very short lifespan. So your content might be on Facebook. It will always be on Facebook, but it might be on, and I use Facebook just as an example. It will definitely not garner views less than 24. What's that? What? Oh, sorry, I am too fast. I thought I was going too fast. Now you're going to sit here even longer. Shame. So we need to. Your post might only be visible for a few minutes, or even a couple of hours if you're really good at what you do, but it's buried under newer content and it rarely resurfaces again unless you reshare. It demands constant output. You have to be creating content all the time. Otherwise, what happens in the picture there shows us it's what we call a black hole, and a black hole is just an infinite hole where stuff just gets dropped into, and that is the risk we run when we post too much content that's not relevant. So it's better to post less but engage your audience than it is to post 100 times a day but you're not really engaging anything. In short, social media is called a black hole that I explained just now, because it endlessly absorbs attention and content while giving back very little lasting value unless you're highly strategic or lucky. Boom. Okay. The marketing tools that we have for you is, well, it's available everywhere. The toolbox that we have is branding and design tools, social media tools, and content and copywriting. And then on the next slide, I'll explain the next three. So let's unpack this quickly. Branding and design tools. For instance, I love using Canva, the one at the top. There are many people that like CapCut. Please use the professional version if you can, otherwise the CapCut logo is on everything. And then TikTok and Instagram and Snapchat also have where you can create reels and stories with videos and with editing on it. There are also many free logo makers that have earthy and agricultural themes. Just be careful that when you use one of those logo makers, normally they're not industry specific, so they tailor to what you ask what you ask of the system. So get a feeling for what you want, and then take it to someone professional to design a logo for you. Our social media tools, you know all of them. Facebook, in my book, Facebook should actually have been called Middle Age Book, because 45% of all Facebook users are over 35. So if you want to engage a younger audience, the Gen Z audience that nobody wants to do marketing to, and just so you know, they are the big buyers of our future, so we have to engage them in agriculture. They use TikTok, Snapchat, and Instagram. So those would be definitely be the best platforms to target for a Gen Z audience. Use the hashtags, do the tagging. There's a little @ on your Facebook and on your Instagram. Use that and mention people. Get people involved with your brand. Content and copywriting. Oh, this one. You please use your brain and your heart first. Remember, in what we do, I'm a farmer myself. I farm with game and dairy goats. So we love our animals and we love what we do. So I can tell you the story of my animals from my heart. So use your brain and your heart first. Storytelling when you are branding, sorting and selecting your animals goes a very long way. So if like this morning, when we were, I don't know how many of you were standing there watching us while we were numbering the animals for the sale this afternoon. If you're busy with that, selecting your animals, sorting your animals, take videos, post it on Facebook. People love a good story. ChatGPT is great. I also use it. But it can never, ever, ever replace how you feel and think about the world. Your animals and your brand, unless you allow it to. Authenticity, especially for the Gen Z generation, is key. It is absolutely key. If I have to sell a bull or a cow and I don't have the words to describe an animal, I usually ask someone in the industry. For instance, if I want to if I want to explain my daughter, for instance, I would ask Leroux, how can I help me explain this animal? And he'd tell me, oh, it has good length and a very good top line. Hopefully he will only look at the good, not the bad. Or I'll ask Chris, who's the gentleman here in the front, who's a Baran breeder, just take a look at my cow. Tell me what you think. Does she have a strong udder? Do you think she'll be a show winner like Kifuku Baran yesterday? I've never ever, when I ask for advice or asked for words in this industry, been met with animosity, ever. Farmers love when you call them and ask their advice. Okay, we'll probably leave it. Okay. Okay. Email and customer contact. Let me just move this one also. You have to build a database of your contacts. Today, most information is available freely. I love using WhatsApp groups. It's quick, it's efficient, and you have access to thousands and thousands and thousands of cell phone numbers. And the nice thing about WhatsApp is that usually your group is agriculture specific. So you don't have to go out and look for a million guys that's in agriculture. There's a WhatsApp group, and you go there and you post your ads on WhatsApp. Most breed societies, and they'll kill me if I know I'm saying this, have the contacts of breeders on their website. That information is not only important if you want to buy animals, but it's also, no, the other way around. It's very important if you want to buy animals, because the breeders on that list are the breeders that you should be buying from. If they're not there, ask the questions, why aren't they there? So that's another way where you can build your database. WhatsApp Business also has an integrated system where, I don't know if you're familiar with it, where you can show your catalog and take orders all on your phone. So it's a complete system where you can do that. Then analytics and insights. That is extremely important, and I'll show you on the next slide why I say that. In today's digital world, we have stats for everything. And I want you to go to the trouble of learning to read those stats, because they are extremely valuable for you to predict your social media marketing. Okay, so the question of paid ads, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. I don't do paid ads, so I don't pay Facebook to use them. I know it's probably against many beliefs, but I don't do that. The problem is you generate views and likes, post likes that are not real. They are from bots, and the algorithm then brings fake accounts to your profile, and so I never ever use paid accounts. I'd rather have 3,000 views on a video of mine from genuine people that are genuinely interested than have 100,000 views from algorithm generated views. This one is to me the most important, not only because I love people, but because I love talking. I don't know if you've noticed. Learning and growth. Listen to podcasts. Guys, if you're driving for an hour, open your Spotify, ask livestock podcast. Listen to webinars. There are many webinars out there. Don't eat everything up that they say on there. It's very important to listen and to apply what works for you. I've heard many things that they do. I love listening to podcasts from the US because they think a little bit bigger. They have a lot of experience. So I love listening to what they say, but it's very important to apply what they say to your brand and to your farming enterprise. Get involved with your breed societies. I don't know how many breed societies there are in Tanzania, but if you have a farmers association or a agriculture union, engage with them, engage with farmers in your area. I promise you guys, the best way to learn is from the guy next to you. It's honestly the best way to learn. That is where I get my best advice. It's where I get the best, well, where I learn from farmers that have been farming for generations mostly. And then, my children will hate this. Read, read, and read. Please read. I cannot stress the importance of reading up on your breed. Know the history of your breed. Know where they come from. Know what the original breed... now I'm getting nervous if the big boss comes in. Thank you, Navid. Welcome. I can say that, karibu. It's my first Swahili word. Where was I? Now you screwed up the whole thing. No, we've got the earphones on. And learn what the original breed, your breed objectives were. Learn where you want to go with your breed. And again, please speak to farmers. Okay. Okay, let's see if this is going to work. Okay. So this is my second favorite part. The favorite part will come just now. How much time do I have left? Is someone timing me? Oh, okay. Tell your story. People love stories. Just tell them. So this, I have another business. It's called Super Game, where we do game translocations over Africa and then also into the world, Russia, Thailand, all of those places. So, as I said earlier, I want you to engage people's senses. So this was a rhinoceros translocation that we did in, what was last month? May. That we did last month. And I will show you the video. And if you get bored, please put up your hand because I want to see, I'm honest, if I'm serious, I want to see at which stage of this video did you stop watching and did you lose interest. But you have to be honest about it. Don't make me feel good, I don't like that. So this is, let's see if it plays. Is there a guy at the back? Can you just play the video for me? Can you start the video on the presentation, please? There's a play button. There should be a play button at the bottom. Okay, let's talk about it a little bit. So I'll show you the video just now when they started it. This video generated, you'll see, this pointer doesn't show there, but you'll see here on the left, there we go. Can you put the sound on, please? The sound is very important. Are you managing? Okay, so this video generated 100,316 views without being boosted, without being paid for. So, can we get the sound, Shunay? Okay. What I want to show you from this video, and you'll experience it when you watch it with the sound on, is that I was trying to harness the moment that those animals got out of the crates that we transported. So, okay. So we want to harness the feeling and what people hear and what people see. So these animals were on the trucks from Windhoek to just 200 kilometers before Lubango in Angola for nearly 50 hours. And what we do is we separate the female from the male, from the mom, from the calf. Now it's completely gone. So we separate them in two crates so that the mom doesn't lie on the calf in the crate. And then we put them on the truck together so that they can communicate with each other. Rhino are very, very good communicators. And then when we opened the truck, or the crate, the baby ran away from the mother. And that is always concerning to us because in big camp systems, this luckily wasn't one, but the babies then struggle to find the mothers again. So, gaan ons het reg kry? Will we fix it? Okay, it's alright. It's fine. So the song that I used for this video is called Mother and Child Reunion. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it. But it's a Christmas song where they say it's a mother and child reunion, only a moment away. So the exact moment when that cow and calf, you see they reunited, I played the mother and child reunion part of the movie, of the post, sorry. And I harnessed, what I was trying to harness was emotion, okay? And then when the video starts, then the crate creaks open, so that immediately engages the audience with the opening of the crate. So they love that. And then what they see, and it was an emotional moment when the mom and the calf reunited. Okay. You can play the video for me, even without the sound. You can just play it and they can watch it while I'm pondering on. So this video reached 100,000 views. This was yesterday, without me playing for it, and 2,800 likes and hearts. 94% of the people that engaged with this post, and you'll see it over, where's that stat? Over here on the left, now it's 96%, were people that's not following me on Facebook. So that's good, because then you're reaching an audience wider than just your pool of people. This post grew my Facebook page by 1,000 followers in less than a week. I don't know, I'm not Justin Bieber, so I won't grow as quickly as he does, but slow and consistent growth is still growth. Interestingly enough, and this is why I'm saying Facebook should be called Middle Age Book, is if you look at the stats over there at the top, most of the viewers were in the age category of 45 to 65. So the demographic of the young audience that I was trying to achieve, I didn't achieve that as well as I should have, but I still reached quite a large audience. You can also see, and that just confirms why it's Middle Age Book. You can also see here in the right at the bottom which countries are engaging with your post. That's very important if you do international marketing like we do. So South Africa had the highest rate at 38%, and then others are usually countries that have just small increments of people looking at it. I would have liked this post to be, I would have wanted Angola to be at the top, but I didn't achieve that. So if you want to do that, then you share your posts to Angolese groups or Tanzanian groups or whatever. So with this marketing we did, we targeted Tanzania, Uganda, Kenya, all the East African countries who can actually buy animals from the sale. And then Namibia, obviously, because many people know me there, unfortunately for them. You will also notice that the audience retention, that's how long people watch your content, it goes down, you see, at the end. But when I saw this video was performing well and I reposted it, it actually got more views over time. If you look at the top graphic, I don't know if you can see that, but it got more views over time when I reposted. So if a post of yours is performing well, just repost it again. Okay, let's get to the fun part that I like the most. Alright. Mia. Yeah, thank you. Creating and collecting farm content. Now this, if you can't do this, you cannot do the previous one. Because there's too many things on my hands. Oh no. Okay, there we go. So what makes a good photo or a video? I'm going to run through this very quickly. I see you guys are hot and hungry and humid. We need well-groomed animals. We need a tidy kraal. We need good lighting, such as now around this time is good for taking photographs, or late in the afternoon with the sun over your shoulder. Okay, so the sun comes from behind onto the animal. Okay, your workers should always be dressed neatly. Your pens should be tidy, and you should look for moments that tell a story. I'm going to show you pictures just now. Try to avoid distractions in the background. Unfortunately, we work with live animals and not subjects. We do have them sometimes. We do have a kraal, we do have a pen. So the distractions in the background are not always easily avoidable, but if you can, it's always first prize. Then blurry images. I want to cry if a farmer sends me a blurry image. I literally want to break down and cry. Please don't use blurry images. It's bad for business. Okay, then as I said, shooting into the sun or the shade, and then cluttered kraals or messy surroundings. Just one thing. If you take a picture, you want to get on the rib level of the animal. And like my mom always said to me when I couldn't find stuff, she said, bend your knees. So get down on the level of the animal like that. Even if it's small stock, get down lower. And capture this, get the middle part of your camera on the rib shape of, or the rib part of the animal. It's also good to get an animal that's I'll show you on the next picture just now, that's flat facing, so that you can get a full picture of the whole animal. And then build a content bank. I take pictures of my animals a million times. If I go to the farm, I'm always taking pictures. I've got 700 bad ones and 3 good ones, but the 3 good ones I can at least use. And yeah, use them on your Facebook. If you've got many numbers on your phone and people have your WhatsApp numbers, put it on your status, put it on Facebook, just put it everywhere. Just be visible. Okay, there we go. Oh, what? This thing. Okay, so this picture is not wrong. Okay, it's got a big red cross, but it's, sorry guys, but it's not wrong. It is not perfect, but it's not wrong. What I like about it, and that's, just so you know, that's a picture I took with my iPhone. So you don't need fancy camera equipment or expensive things that you have to insure. Just use a proper phone, proper lighting, and you will be 100 steps ahead of the next guy. So what I like, I'm just going to get onto the stage here quickly. What I like about this picture is the blue sky at the back, because it gives the animal a little bit of, it doesn't take away from what we're trying to achieve. With the picture is properly in thirds, so you've got the sky in a third, the animal in a third, and then the grass in a third. What I don't like about this picture is the fact that her legs are over her udder, or this leg is over her udder, okay? So you don't want that. Because for a buyer, if we use this as an auction picture, the buyer needs to see the udder. This picture was taken by a very good friend of mine. She is a professional photographer, but this is the ideal what we're looking for. I wish I could take, I can, but I don't like to. I can take this cow and put on this background. Many people do that. They Photoshop their photos. What we can see here is we've got a good picture of the udder. Her shadow is behind her. You can see her top line. You can see her depth of body. You can see the muscling in her rump. And, and you can also see her pasterns properly. She's got good pasterns. You can see the shape of her head. She's a nice feminine. At this time she was still a heifer. She's on the sale this afternoon, just so you know. I've got bragging rights. And you can see that she's got a very nice feminine head. So this gives me a good picture of the animal. Her neck is a little stretched, but not too much. So that would be my suggestion for taking a good picture. Will this pointer reach if I go up there? Oh, cool. Okay. This is again my good friend. She was kind enough to give me a picture that I don't like with one that I do. This bull, this is what we want. Okay, you see this is a beautiful beefmaster bull from Wagner Boerdery in Namibia. We can see the bull has a masculine head. He's got a good hump shape and forequarters. He's got length of body, depth of body. He's got a good tail attachment, and we can see the scrotum. On this side, everything that we see here, we can't see here. This bull was sold for a lot of money after I asked for a better picture, hopefully. But this bull was sold for a lot of money on an auction, but this would not be the ideal auction picture. So you can't see the bull properly, you can't see his neck, you can't see his forequarter development. If you are me, you can't see his scrotum, there's shade on those areas, you can't see his pasterns properly. It's not a big thing for me, the pasterns, because I like a picture in a natural environment, but try and go for this. It's not easy, believe me, it takes a lot of practice. And avoid that. Okay. But Mullah took this picture. I was so surprised by it, I couldn't believe it, because It's a perfect picture. I really, really didn't expect this. So again, the only thing that I would have changed is maybe the background because it's a little distracting, but the proportions are perfect. And you can see the animal, the shade is at the back, you can see the pasterns, you can see the scrotum. These gala goats are also on the auction this afternoon. And then, when I asked him for pictures, when he sent me this, I said, no, those are exceptional, you did very well. And then I asked him to send me some bad pictures, and he says, no, he doesn't take bad pictures. But alas, he got the guts. Let's go. Just move my slide, please. Just move my slide, please. Okay. So this is what we don't want. Into the sun, animal turned away. Next, please. Just change it again. Definitely never ever an animal that is looking away from you. Okay? And then again, from above. Don't take pictures from above, please. Don't take them from above. It makes the animal look small. I mean, these pictures, if I put them on next to this one, you can absolutely see the difference that this makes to that. And please put on the red crosses now. Thank you. Okay, move my slide, please. Okay. How do we stay visible and valid in marketing in a world where social media is inundated with content? Branding is very important, and I use the Tri-Nations livestock logo as a starting point. It's very recognizable, primary colors mostly. It tells the story of what we are trying to achieve here with the Tri-Nations, with the 3 flags of the Tri-Nations. We're doing livestock. You don't necessarily have to put a cow on your logo because you do cows. You can, if it says livestock and people can read, you'll get livestock. Show up in person. What you guys are doing here today is the most important thing that you can do for your farming business. Not listening to me necessarily, but talking with farmers, engaging with each other, and showing up for events. It is extremely important. And then, after an expo like this, the marketing will die down, and then next year it will pick up again. For your brand, you have to stay online all the time. You have to be consistent. There's nothing that is more important than staying consistent. Remember, in livestock, we have people and animals involved. I could never have dreamt of standing here today in front of you guys. It's a great honor for me to be here. If my friend Mark Meyer Taylor hadn't introduced me to Navid Mullah, and then we came up with this whole concept. So networking is, I can't stress to you how important that is. And then follow up with your buyers. Always follow up with your buyers. When you've managed to take all the brilliant pictures and do the fancy logos that I told you about, get your stuff online, follow up with your buyers. People like being recognized. If you sold an animal to a guy, call him a week later. Ask him, hey, how's the animal doing? Do you need me to come and visit you? Do you need any advice? Is the animal still healthy? Etc., etc. Do that. People love that. There's a guy in South Africa from Lerone Limousine. After his auction, he delivers the animals personally. 3 months later, he goes, he visits the farmers again, helps them with their herd selection. He has the best auctions every year. Without fail, he has the best sales. Always ask, listen, and improve. This is just summarizing what I've said the whole time. Ask buyers what worked and what didn't. After this expo, Navid and Pierre Mohammed and me will sit and we'll do a troubleshooting. We'll sit with each other and tell them, okay, this didn't work, or that worked very well, let's try and improve. Do that. I have a little book. After every auction that I do, I write in that little book, and we try to remember what worked for this time and not the next time. Use feedback to improve your herd. If someone says, you delivered a ram to me, but after 2 weeks it lost weight, then think about fine-tuning your feeding system. Maybe you're feeding a little bit too much. Maybe you're feeding a little bit too little. So talk to your buyers. It's very important because it's better for them to come and talk to you than to tell people about something that went wrong. It's always that. And then keep growing and learning. Selection, genetics, health, feed, the caring of your animals. Attend these workshops, attend field days, attend livestock expos. Talk to farmers, I cannot stress that enough. And then try new tools and grazing systems. Do research, read up, see what people are doing in the outside world. Remember, agriculture isn't restricted to Tanzania or Uganda or Kenya. I mean, these Kenyan guns with their boron, they are outstanding stockmen. I cannot tell you how impressed I was when I visited with them in Kenya in March. And then again, if there's a farmer's day in Kenya, go to it. I was at an expo in Kenya this week as well. And the information that I gathered there about what's going on in their market is so important for my business, because now I know the dairy industry will grow immeasurably within the next 10 to 15 years in Kenya. So now I know I can target the dairy industry because there is potential business there. And then lastly, your brand has to create trust, it has to build relationships, and it has to bring longevity to your clients. Showing up, sharing your journey, and staying real is what keeps you visible. And to end my presentation, I will say, show me your sheep, and I'll show you the shillings. Thank you, guys. It was an honor presenting for you today. I hope you learned something. We have... Oh, I've gone over my time. I'll take 2 questions, and then we can go down to the pens there where the judging took place yesterday. When Mark is finished speaking, PJ will speak here again. So just please come back, and then yeah, I'll take 2 questions. Do we have a mic? Shonai? Was I that good? No questions. You guys must be tired. Okay, let's go outside. We're just quickly going to move the camera, and then we'll start on that side. Okay, so enjoy. Take a bottle of water with it. It's hot outside.
Na kuna email address ambayo pia tutatuma YouTube account ambayo itakuwa na material yote kwa kudumu. Lakini pia tutatengeneza podcast baadaye. Kuna baadhi ya midahalo itakuwa ikienda kila baada ya wiki kwenye social media za kwetu. Kwa wale ambao mmepaki, kuna magari ambayo yamepaki vibaya hapo nje. Naomba tafadhali mkasogeze ili tuweze kuingiza mgeni rasmi. Gari ambayo ina namba T